Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Ambient Lighting. Today we're going to talk about finding out that you have a mental illness. Why is my camera being so stupid? Can you not for like 1 minute? Sorry guys. Okay, I think it should be fixed now. Stay. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, so your whole life, you knew there was something a little bit off. You processed emotions differently. You acted a little more awkward than others. You reacted differently when it came to certain situations. Just overall, you knew that you were different. And you didn't know why, but you struggled with it because being different isn't always fun. It doesn't always feel great. It's not something that people applaud most times. A lot of times you get judged for, you get outcast. You don't make a whole lot of friends being a different person. One day, as you got older, you realized, well, I don't necessarily want to be different anymore. I want to know what is wrong or what's different with me. Why can't I just be normal like everyone else? Why can't I just act the same? Why can't, they always say on TV shows or in podcasts or other social media that it's good to be different. It's good to be someone who is unique. You hated the word unique because unique meant that, of course, you were different. And even though they said in all those platforms that being different is so great, being different is amazing, it's really not, because everyone outcasts you. Everyone treats you as if you're something that isn't worth being liked or being looked at. And it sucks because it's like, why does that whole group, when I hang out with them, it's just like something is off. I'm not included the way that everyone else is. And when they add other people to the group, they join perfectly fine and it's great. But for me, for some reason, I can't fit in. And you think that, like everyone else says, you just haven't found your group of people. It's okay, you haven't found your group. You'll feel fine when you find your group. But each group comes and they feel the same. And at one point, you finally realize that there's got to be something with me. And it's not a good feeling to have, because no matter what you do, you just don't know where you fit. Well, then you take it to the next step. You go to therapy, because everyone says therapy helps everything. Go to therapy, you talk for a little bit. They refer you to a psychiatrist. You go to the psychiatrist. For some reason, psychiatrist appointments, they take no time at all, like 30 minutes. They diagnose you with something, whatever it is. You've figured it out. You finally have the missing piece, and you know now why you're this way. And you know why you feel different now, because they've explained it to you, and so now everything will be okay. You'll figure it out, and you'll know how to go on with your life now that you know why you're different. But that's not what happens at all. You go on with your life knowing that you have this thing. You learn how to slowly cope with it. You figure out how to handle situations in the way that your brain can handle them best. You figure out how to process emotions in the way that your brain processes things, and you realize that it's okay. It's just something that's a part of me, and now I understand it a little bit better because I know what it is, and it has a name now. But the hard part comes when you start feeling more comfortable with it, and you feel more comfortable to open up and to share this thing with other people. You tell your closest friends, your closest family, you tell them about this thing that you've been struggling with, that you have a diagnosis for. This is something that you haven't self-diagnosed. You've talked to someone and you've told them how you're feeling on the inside, and they understand, and they gave you this diagnosis. So you know it's got to be right. But apparently to everyone else, to all of these people that you're opening up to about it, they tell you, no, this isn't you. You've never acted that way. You don't actually feel like that on the inside. How could you be that? Because you don't seem like the picture perfect version of this thing that you're trying to say you are. And you get almost discouraged in a way because you thought you figured it out. You thought you could open up to people, and now people are putting you down, saying that you don't actually feel that way. You don't actually process things in that way, and they're putting you down in the most horrible way, because after you've told them that this is how you feel, they act like there's no way that you could feel that way. There's no way that your brain is that way. And it sucks. It really does, because it's like, after all that work that you went through to finally figure out why you're different and why you act the way that you act, and why you process things the way that you process things, you have the closest people, the people that you trust the most, telling you that there's no way that's how you feel. And it sucks, because it's like, but how do you know how I feel? Are you inside my brain? Do you see the things that I see every day? Are you alone with me at night? Are you laying in my bed with me? Are you feeling how I feel when I feel alone and sad and I'm by myself in my room? Do you feel those things? Are you with me during that? Because I don't think you are. Last time I checked, you were nowhere to be seen. So how come you can tell me that I don't go through this, and I don't feel that, and I don't handle things in this way? Colonel, do you feel the same way? I don't know if you guys heard that, but it sucks, and it's hard because you're dealing with things and it feels like no one understands, and when you try to open up to them about it, they shut you down and they tell you, no, there's no possible way. How could you always feel like you're different or that you don't fit in? That doesn't make sense. And the reason behind it all is that you're just so good at pretending, and you're so good at hiding how you're feeling. And it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time, because yeah, to other people you look great and you look normal, but on the inside the whole time you're fighting, you're like trying to survive, because you feel this awkward, this uncomfortable feeling, and you don't know how to understand it. And once you do, again, you get shut down and people tell you that's not how you're feeling, that's not you. And I don't know the solution to this, because there's no point in arguing with this person or trying to prove to them that this is how you're feeling, because they'll never understand. They won't, because they're not in your brain. And like I said before, they're not in your room with you when you're alone, when you're sad, when you're processing these things. They're not inside your brain. They're not inside your brain when you're in a group and you're pretending to be this outgoing, great, happy person, but you're truly not. Check in on your friends, because you actually don't know what they're going through. And sometimes, even if you think you fully understand them and that you guys have talked about literally everything, maybe you haven't. And maybe they're just scared to talk to you, or it's not even you. They're just scared to talk to anyone about it because they don't think anyone will understand. And sometimes people don't understand. You finally feel, the courage to open up about something that you are deeply struggling with, that you've been hiding for so long, and you get put down and you get told that that's not it at all. And you try to prove to them, you say, no, it is, because I went to a counselor, I went to a psychiatrist, and they told me, and it doesn't matter, because the people will still talk behind your back, the people will still do what they do best, and they will still say, no, there's no way that you have that. Because they think in their brains that they understand everything about everything. Yeah, Colonel? He's meowing again. But they think that they understand everything about that diagnosis, and they understand everything about some type of mental illness, and they think just because you're not the parts of it that they understand, that you could never be that, and you could never be feeling that way or be feeling like that. But things and brains are so complicated, and they're so complex that you might know one portion about something, but that doesn't mean you completely grasp the whole idea and you understand the whole concept of it. Because something as simple as, like, let's say OCD, a lot of people go around and they pretend like they have OCD. They say, oh, I have OCD because you can't put that book in that certain way, or you can't do this in that certain way, or I have to stay organized. But they don't realize that that's not what it is at all. And people who actually have OCD are very, like, they're struggling. They are, because I mean, you can have so many different types. There's types when it comes to relationships. There's types when it comes to loneliness. That's kind of a big one for OCD. That's why everyone says that they have it, but they don't. People are really struggling with that, and I don't really like, I used to be a big person that would joke about, oh, I have OCD when I was like 14 maybe. But then I got older and I actually took psychology classes in college and high school, and I realized that's not what it is at all. And it looks really silly when you say that you have it, because there's people that are really struggling and that have mental illnesses, and you could never understand the extent of what they're going through. But a lot of people just hide it so well. And for people who do hide it so well, I think to give yourself that space when you're alone, or when you're with someone that you're really comfortable with, to give yourself that space to either talk about it and, and tell them what you're struggling with, whether it be a therapist or someone that you are just very close to, or just by yourself and journaling or just processing those things, because it can be really hard, especially in a world where everyone thinks that they know everything and they think that they understand what everyone is going through, and they really don't. And it can be extremely hard when you're in this world too, because like I mentioned before, being different and being someone that goes to therapy can sometimes be looked at as really weird or bad, when in reality going to therapy is it's not a bad thing. And a lot of times people don't even realize that what someone is doing in therapy or counseling, working through their problems, they are kind of doing this, like something not the same because it's not a professional, but something similar when they're talking to their best friend. I mean, it's someone to talk to, someone to give you advice on what to do. I would say going to therapy is much better, of course, because going to therapy, this person is licensed, and this person is very knowledgeable on what they do, and they know how to actually handle things in a healthy way if you are honest with them. And they also, if you are struggling with like a mental illness, they can notice that and maybe recommend you to different psychiatrists that can help you work through those things, or even diagnose you and maybe you need to be on certain medication. And that also can be very intimidating and scary, because there's a lot of stigmatism around people being on medication. That is my talk for today. Colonel says hello. Wherever you are at, I hope you have a good one, and I will let you say goodbye to Colonel too. Goodbye, Colonel. Oh my gosh. Stop it.